Hi friends, in this video we'll have a look at the preprocessor in C. So everybody who has touched a C program would have used this preprocessor somewhere here or there, but you might not have known the word preprocessor or preprocessor directives as such. So preprocessing is a separate step altogether which will happen before your compilation starts. It's a blind substitution of whatever you have defined as part of the preprocessing units. Okay, so it doesn't find the syntax or it doesn't check anything. All it does is a blind control F control V, like a blind replacement of things which you have defined. For example, if I defined like a pi equal to 3.5, what it will do is it will blindly replace, search for wherever the pi is there, and it will replace with the whatever value I have substitute. Okay, it's a simple text only substitution. It happens on the fly. Okay, so let's start with the preprocessor directives in the preprocessor, which you have used it always. This is what I was saying, like you might have used the hash include either with the double quote style or in the angular braces style. Okay, so this is one of the important question where people ask in interview when you're sitting for a C interview. So what is the difference between using a double quotes and the angle file? When you use double quotes, let's start with the angular braces. The angular braces says is like the header file which is mentioned there as part of the standard library file. So go and check all the places where the standard path is, and then if it is found, include it, or else don't include it. Whereas if it is double quotes, what we say is, hey, this file, check it in the current path first, then go ahead and search wherever your standard search is available. Okay, if the file is present in the local directory, take that. I mean, local directory is a directory where your exe file is residing. Okay, so the second preprocessor directive you will be familiar with, hash define. Okay, it has a name and a replacement text. That is that is the example which I said, pi 3.14. Okay, so that is a standard preprocessor directive. So first in this video we'll have a look at all the theories stuff first, then I'll show you the complete examples of each and everything. Okay, so the reason why we go for a preprocessor directive is, like, let's assume I have used that pi in multiple places with 3.15 without using hash define. If I want to change the value at all the places, I have to go and search in all the occurrences and then correct it, right? Whereas in the hash define, I don't need to worry about this. Like, first, if I just change it only here, the compiler itself will do the replacement automatically. So my job becomes simpler. Okay, so that is a main reason why people go for a hash define. So it makes the program readable and it makes the program more modifiable, I would say. Okay, so if you don't do it, if you directly use the 3.14, they are called magic numbers. So the people will not know what is that 3.14, whether it's some value or something like that. If I substitute pi, so it becomes readable for the programmer to read. In bigger projects, you will not be the only person who will be working in a project. So these things will help the next programmer to read and comprehend your code better. Okay, so that is the purpose why we also define, we use this kind of constants, hash define constants, to make it more readable. The second part is the conditional inclusion. So the conditional inclusion is another beautiful thing. So in C, you have a trouble of like including the header files multiple times. Okay, you might end up, so the C compiler doesn't check for it. It's your thing to check it and do it. So hash define conditional inclusion will guarantee you that, like, this header file, whatever header file you are using, it will be included only once. It will not be included multiple times. Okay, so that reason is why the hash conditional inclusions are here. So there is another place where generally the conditional inclusion will be more useful. Like, so if your code is going to run under multiple platforms, when I say platform, Windows or Linux or Solaris, so what I'll do is, like, if it is a Windows platform, while compiling, use windows.h. Okay, if it is a Unix platform, so don't include it and skip it. So like that I will have it. Okay, so the result is based on the input which I, or the platform which I compile, so I'll include the particular thing. Okay, there are different conditional thing, if, end if, else if, end if, or the different conditional inclusion statements. Okay, so explore all those things one by one. So apart from these kind of preprocessor statements, there are also macros, predefined macros, which is available. For example, if you use __ line, it will give you the line number. Okay, __ file, it will give you the file name. So let's assume if it is a large project and it has like around in our project, very normally we'll have at least 1000 to 2500 files. So you don't know if there is an error and you want to know where the error occurred. So what we'll do is, in the log we'll add this file name, so that we can easily go on pinpoint that this is the place where the error has occurred. Okay, so that is called that is the places, and also we can include the line number to make it more precise. Okay, so now we have talked so much of theory. We'll go and have a look at the code. Okay, so in this code, what we'll do is, like, we'll define our own header file, and we'll add only one predefined constant in that. So after that, we'll start including that into our code file, and then we'll play around it. Okay, so this is our file, and this is our header file. Okay, so my header.h, and then so both of them resides in the same directory. That is also important. So while I include, what I'll do is I include with the double quotes rather than Angular thing. Okay, we'll test all the scenarios so that you will understand better. So I have a code and a header file. I have included my header.h. If you see in the second line, it has been included. Okay, so there is a hash define over here. Okay, let's modify the code. Where is that? First.c. This is a header file. First.c. So instead of double quotes, I am using Angular basis. So the expectation is, like, it will search in the standard path, but it will not find the header file, because this is a header file which is defined by me, so it should throw an error. Okay, let's clear the existing stuff, and then we'll start the compilation. So I'm going to compile gcc first.c. So when I compile, it throws me with an error, fatal error. So what the fatal error says is, like, I am not able to find the myheader.h. Please tell me where should I find it. So that's what I'm going to fix it. Like, so instead of instead of Angular basis, I use double quotes. When I use double quotes, it searches first in my path, then proceeds with the actual thing. Okay, it searches here in the current directory where my exe is there, and it will find it and it will go. So see, now the compilation has gone fine. Okay, so all I did is, like, ask it to search in my current directory by adding double quotes to it instead of Angular basis. Okay, step 1 is done. So we are able to understand what is this difference between the Angular basis and the double quotes. Now the next step is, like, to include the particular print message which I have used it here. I am just copy pasting it. So while printing, I am asking it to print it. Okay, so it should print the message whichever I have put it over there. Okay, so let's see. So, and also I have put that as, okay, let me show it first, then I'll explain it much better. A.exe. If I do it, it say hello, this is else. Okay, it comes to the else part. Hello, this is else. This is the message which I have defined. So it prints the else part over there. Okay. So why it didn't went for the else part? That's another question. Okay. So to double check, I have given as else one, and then we have seen it. It was also working fine. I'm not hard coding anything and showing out. Okay. So there is something called hash if def print. If you see after the void main, there is a thing. that is called conditional compilation. So instead of if somebody defines print, then it will go to the first part. And then it will run the first part. Okay. If not, it will come to here. So where should I define? So generally this will be defined as part of the compilation itself. We'll pass this one of the input variables. How to do is gcc -d, d is for define, and what should I define? Print. Okay. If print is defined, it will execute the first part of the code. Okay. So my file name .file first.c. Okay. So now if I run it, so I have defined print. Okay. So I'm going to run the code and see whether it comes in the first part or the second part. My expectation is to print this guy, hello world from GUI. Okay. So let's run it, a.exe. If I run it, see, I've got the hello world from print. So this will be mainly used when you have a conditional code dependent upon the platform. So as I said, platform is for Windows or Linux. So I'll put whatever the platform dependent code, I'll put it inside. Let's assume I want to use API which is available only in the Windows. So if I'm compiling for Windows, then I'll include the line, or else I'll not include the line at all. Okay. So that's how the conditional compilation works. So the next thing which we need to test is __ line and file. Okay, let's start with the predefined macros. So I'm including a __ file, and I'm going to compile it. So if I compile it and print it, see, I got the file name first.c as the output. I'm just using to print it. Okay, the same way wherever you want it, you can use it. So it's a line number, so I have to give up %d. Since a number it is, previously it was string, so it was accepting fine. Now for line I have to give %d. So if I give it, like, it works fine without having any issues. a.exe. Okay, I got the line number 8, the line where it is giving, it was there. So if there is an error, what I'll do is I'll print the line number current next to it. So if there is, that will help me to find out where the probable error could have happened. Okay. Some of the workouts is like, this is one of the important question. What is the difference between a hash define and a constant variable? Okay. How to invoke a preprocessor alone? There is a step for it as well. So we can call only the preprocessor. So, and also as I defined the few macros, you create your own header files and do it. And there is something called double hash. Check out what double hash means. Okay. And the last one, I have defined a macro, one semicolon. What is the error in this macro? Figure it out. Okay. These are some of the things which you can explore and then practice on your own to improvise your skills in preprocessor macros in C. Okay. Thank you, friends. Bye bye.